seekers and pleasers alike. Welcome to our show, Checkpoint, the show where we discuss and discern the current events of the most recent Check Please episode. I just think I had a stroke, Jesus Christ. Today we are discussing Check Please, episode 28. I would love to welcome our members today. I am Keni, your fortunate host. Foaly, as my co-host, hungry for answers.
Nom, hello.
Xeno, our swamp witch swarm monger.
Yeah.
Grem, our robot master and beloved gnome. And Beardy, our beloved daddy DM. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. So, a lot of stuff happened yesterday and a lot of nothing happened yesterday.
That's true.
We didn't get in a fight. There was no violence.
Not yet.
There was no violence, it's true.
Well, I thought there might be player against player. There was potential, and I was scared.
I mean, just tell me when you want violence and Vera will give it to you, okay?
I don't want violence from Vera because I know she can kick all of our asses.
Dependent.
Depending.
I knew I should have kicked in the door on Naomi. That would have got us into a fight.
Jesus Christ. Leave that poor girl alone.
I offered my help, and I wasn't going to force it. I simply wanted the help to be there. Anyway,
we just prodded just a bit too much. Like, each time I was like, okay, I've gone too far as Riz. I'm gonna leave. And you're like, let's stay and talk just a little bit more. And I was like, this poor girl.
Well, I could relate a little bit to the consummate outsider thing. But anyway. Where should we start?
Let's start not from the beginning of the episode, but from the beginning of our notes of plot points to talk about. So Archie and Levette had a little itty bitty little chat. Well, I mean, Levette's itty bitty, Archie isn't.
Ooh. I feel like it balances out.
So is it the normal conversation?
It's just a normal conversation since one person's itty bitty and one person's large.
Ouch, the sizest jokes. It's just not.
I'm used to it, it's fine.
And it's great, because as the campaign's gone on, Levette's gotten smaller and Archie's gotten bigger.
Oh my god.
Besides, Levette's used to people talking down to her.
I just feel bad for Archie because Archie was always worried about people shrinking and getting smaller, and actually,
it actually happened.
Did get small.
Dude,
Think about that until now.
if we start shrinking people, I can make that permanent and really bring those nightmares to life.
You'll get squashed by a robot if you do that. Just out of fear.
That's the way I always wanted to go. Squashed by a robot.
Elephant.
Anyway. Grem, thoughts on that? Grem
Yeah.
and Beardy, since that was your chat there.
Sure.
I'm trying to remember everything that we talked about. It was kind of an anticipated conversation for me on a lot of levels, with the whole, both of them trying to figure out what they're gonna do with their lives at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know if we got.
Go ahead.
You go ahead. Oh, I didn't really. I was just ending what I was saying.
Oh, no worries. To me, like, the whole Levette thing, like, Levette and Moira and Archie are all trying to kind of figure out what their purpose is, right? So it's interesting because, like, Levette has basically created more people in a bid to create purpose for herself, and then those beings are like, well, why do I exist? So it's just kind of this perpetuation going on where, like, they're all trying to find some meaning to existence. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, if not extremely existentially terrifying. It's something to look forward to every week.
Yeah, just wait till Archie makes another robot.
Oh, I know.
In an attempt to feel.
I've
something.
already thought too much about what would happen if I make a simulacrum of Levette and that comes with a free simulacrum of Archie.
That's I mean, in a way, that's like leadership with extra steps. But yeah, you're getting there.
When I saw the spell, that was one thought that came through my head. I was like, "Not let me have leadership, will you?"
Don't test the DM; it'll have worst repercussions, and you know it.
I already did, and it already has.
Yeah.
We're already here.
Speaking of testing the DM on a random side note, all the pun damage suddenly. I got
Oh,
like
no.
5 different amounts of pun damage
Look.
assessed last night.
Legit, over the last weekend when we were on break, I was with Beardy. And I was like, man, I miss pun damage. You're too nice to us now.
You're the one who dropped us in it. Thanks
It's
for-
my fault, yes. It's my
Ay,
fault.
ay, ay.
I am the worst. You're
And at the same
welcome.
time, like, it's become such a almost, I mean, I don't want to say completely pointless, but it is getting to the point where pun damage is completely pointless because you guys have so much ability to heal damage that, like, unless I'm just straight up gonna, like, off somebody, it's like no amount
Or
of
if it's
damage
in
I can do.
combat.
Or if it's in combat. Like, there's
Yes.
not really much I can do that's, and the whole thing at this point, it's all meant to be a joke, right? So
Right.
at this point, I almost feel like the joke's run its course, and there's really nothing that I can do to a level 15 party with a couple points of damage that are going to matter. So there wasn't really much point in calling it out for a while.
I like that it provides an opportunity to suddenly randomly get hurt in a ridiculous way.
It's
what was
funny.
yours?
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
tripping and
I
breaking
broke
your
my
leg?
arm, yeah.
All right, look, if you guys enjoy it, I'll keep throwing damage at you. It's fine.
I mean, what else is there, Beardy? Do you not wish pain upon us?
Maybe we
I
should
do,
have-
but I wish it for be like emotional pain.
Oh,
I want you all to like.
you
like,
know I'm
suffer
gonna
for your
have that
characters.
next season. I'm just holding off
Yeah.
right now.
I know.
Oh my. It just I just giggle thinking of, you know, assessing 40 points of pun damage, like going back to the very beginning when it was first implemented, like, oh, the pun in the Telic house when you're level 1, right? That's 40
It was
points.
rough.
Right? New
Mhm.
party.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes a lot more difference when you guys don't have the resources to bounce back from that.
Mhm.
So, you know, with a life oracle in your party, it kind of means that damage doesn't really matter.
If I like you.
That's true.
It's like sometimes you're
Well,
like, you deserve that broken arm. Fuck you.
You deserve, yeah. And keep that broken arm and use it to think
If
about
I had
what
made
you've
that
done.
pun after the conversation with Kurla, probably wouldn't have gotten that healed arm.
Why do you think I keep my best bitches bracelet?
Thank you for the callback to that, by the way. That made me smile. Ah, dear. Any other thoughts on the Archie Levette existential midlife crisis conversation?
I'm
Oh,
trying to
it-
remember all what they talked about.
It was expected. It's the same thing where it's like, yeah, things suck for a little bit.
It's just kind of like running in place right now. It's unfortunate.
A little bit. I mean,
Um,
I guess yeah. It's interesting for me because I'm not sure where it's actually going for real.
mhm.
Like, I really am genuinely wondering what the fuck is Levette gonna do after the campaign, assuming that she lives that long.
I
And
mean,
what? Yeah.
there was your goal after first season of making a business.
Yeah, that feels kind of small now. That feels kind of inconsequential. Money feels pretty pointless. We went and defended a fort, which was like not all too that difficult, really, all things considered for us, and made a fucking fortune off of it.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, a business feels kind of pointless in her eyes. It's just a hobby, really, for her.
I
You
mean,
say that while your shop assistant is like, oh, I'm desperately trying to
I
keep
know.
things afloat. If only someone would give me an infusion of cash.
Well, the business, this is kind of related to something else for this episode, so I'll maybe jump ahead a second, but the business is really just supposed to exist to fund the philanthropic projects like the prosthetic limbs and like infrastructure stuff. It's not really about making the money, it's just about making enough money to do something with, which she had not been successful with as far as the actual business went, and has now been incredibly successful with in the span of a couple months, just going out and killing things. So going back and doing the business feels real silly.
Mhm. Just like always, adventuring is the most lucrative thing you can do in the world.
Pretty much, if you can survive it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
You could always go back to the gnome lands and become the ruler of a destroyed
the
society.
mimic army.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
I think if Levette ever feels like connecting with her mother again, because I don't know if Levette's talked to her mother since we left Phil the first time.
Not really.
But I mean, there's always the actually finding a way to get rid of her Dryderism, because I technically
Mm.
fucked that over with god powers, so if you have like a higher god to unfuck the curse that Soul double placed on them,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be fine.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, there is that. That is.
I just wanted you to have your mom! And I panicked and I was like,
No, nice. It's well intentioned. I understand.
it was well intentioned, it just wasn't well thought out.
The road
Like-
to being a giant fucking spider is paved with good intentions.
Yeah. I mean, but that's kind of Soul's entire MO is good
Yeah.
intentions that are poorly thought out.
They were a teenager.
Exactly.
So after the Archie Levette chat, we had another
Is
chat
Soul
between.
Jinx? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I see it. I haven't
or
even
Terra.
seen Arcane. I know what you're talking about, and I see it.
Yeah. Jinx or Terra. I mean, there's all kinds of different things you can look at from pop culture. That's like, oh yeah, no, that's
Oh yeah, I definitely see Terra. Oh yeah.
Usually I understand the references, and now I'm here like, what?
Watch Arcane.
Okay.
Or Teen Titans. Fuck a duck. You guys aren't allowed to, like, attack me on stream, you bitches!
Oh, Terra's
I
not
have
an attack.
One conversation with you, Beardy, this morning about how I adore this character from Teen Titans because I'm talking about a voice actor, and you're
Yeah.
just attacking me during stream now.
I came
not
here to have a
attack.
good time, and I'm feeling so attacked right now. Shall we talk about Levette and Moira?
Yes, not me.
So, Grem and Beardy, back to you again, because that was
Yeah.
a huge chat.
yeah.
This kind of comes off the coattails what we were saying with the finding purpose thing, right? With Archie, it's the same kind of conversation with Moira. It was, and I, there was definitely like a part in my mind where I was like trying to be real with her, but there was more being real in my head than what came out of mouth. There was like, I'm like, I really don't know how she's gonna be useful. I don't know what she's good at, like mechanically speaking. Like, I have a rough idea who the character is, but I don't know what that translates into stuff that could actually help us. And so basically she just has the capabilities of any level 0 commoner as far as I'm aware right now, which is like we have more than enough hands to do things, so that's really kind of not helpful. So I'm like, I have to think about, like, figure out what our actual, or we'll have to figure out what our actual, skills are in that regard, because I feel it, but it was also, I was just like, yeah, I don't know.
If she were a living being and I had heard that conversation, I would have taken her aside afterward and been like, you know that you're worth more than what you can do for other people, right?
You really like
That's-
that line.
I love that line. I stole it from She-Ra, and it's something that I wish something had been said to Soul as well in season 1. But the fact that Moira isn't really Moira, yeah, is she worth more than what she can do for other people when that's
Oh.
her sole reason for existing?
Oh!
An excellent point.
Oh,
I mean,
She's
I-
a thing. Does
as
I-
much
I
as
feel like
Archie's,
provide
Archie has a
services.
soul, but I don't think Moira has a soul.
neither of them have a soul. I'm pretty confident in
Yeah.
that.
Archie has a soul. Well,
I don't think so.
maybe.
I
Well,
don't
I
think he
saw a
needs
look
one.
from Beardy.
we have proofs of that though, or he would have passed the test of spirit. We know that from.
That's true, but he also, like, the ghosts in the telehouse couldn't see him, and I think that's why.
Yeah, but that's a whole season apart.
I mean, he has grown a lot since then.
Yeah, I don't think he
Can
just
you
grew
grow a soul?
I mean,
You
like, if we
imagine-
want to go
well,
in, like,
Marcus
witchy,
did.
pagan-y kind of bullshit, yeah.
I mean, Marcus grew a soul, so I guess could, but Marcus had to die for it.
The soul,
That
it's
is
the
true.
reverberations
Just
of the
like
positive
Jesus.
impact that he left on the
No.
people and places he visited in his time, or some shit like that.
Yeah. Power of friendship bullshit. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
Like,
Big
and the
rainbow thing. Sorry.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
and that's the thing that's kind of been like a big theme of Levette has been that it's like it doesn't matter to her, like Marcus objectively not having a soul and Archie dubiously having a soul, have been kind of proof to her that it doesn't matter. If somebody has emotions and they have free will, then it doesn't matter, or they have as much free will as anyone else, at least.
I was gonna say, because Moira technically doesn't
have any free will. We established that last time.
She sort of does. She still acts into, like, she still has initiative. She just, her initiative is driven by the Levette's desires.
Yeah, it's entirely circumscribed with your desire, with Levette, sorry.
So
Levette's
it's
But that's-
still
desires.
that's
technically
also-
not free will.
Well, okay, but that's arguable for a lot of organic people,
Oh,
too. There are a
yeah,
lot
I
of
can
people
go
who
down like a deep rabbit hole about how our lives don't matter and we're all walking a path and it's all destiny and shit.
Right,
By
exactly.
the way, it's not like I designed Riz over this existential crisis I had years ago or anything. That's fine.
Exactly, though.
I mean,
And
yeah, I
so-
certainly resent the gods playing games with us and getting in the way of our free will. That's...
Well, and just fatality just
Sorry.
means that there's only, like, causality and fatality mean there's only a
Oh.
limit to
Should I?
how much free will anyone has. And
This is
so
why we have
Levette's
to
like,
kill all of the gods to get them out of our fun. Sorry.
like
I put
basically in
Beardy's timer
Levette's
back
mind
up.
is, the thought is like, if Archie or Myra or Mark II are just simulating having emotions and they don't actually experience anything on their end, then that's awkward and that sucks. But if they do and you treat them like they don't, that's a lot worse. So that's kind of the logic she's been operating under. That's my thoughts on
Awkward
that.
silence.
Yep.
Yep. So what's up?
Beardy, thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's a way to put it.
Yeah.
I'm
Well
gonna
done,
beat
well
you
done.
up.
So, yeah, so the nature of free will and existence
Right.
and souls, I mean, it's all really deep stuff, but in the context of the fantasy world that you guys are
Mhm.
living in, it is, like, as you've seen, it is possible for a being to develop a soul,
Mhm.
kind of, with a little bit of outside help. So it's not impossible.
Be granted one.
Right. So it's not impossible for Archie and even Moira and Mark II to eventually have a soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is not something that is outside of the realm of possibility, because in this universe nothing is truly impossible, right?
Sure.
With the intervention of enough spiritual power. So, yeah, it's just as they stand right now, Moira's desires are essentially just an extension of Levette's desires. So, Moira has sort of an illusion of free will.
But that's the thing that's made it so interesting. Well, it's made so interesting to me is the fact that, like, souls objectively exist in this universe, and then to kind of, like, then redisprove them with where it's like, okay, sure, but, like, is that the same thing as consciousness?
No,
Right.
because
so-
a vampire is conscious, but they don't have a soul.
Right. And Marcus was conscious and didn't have a soul.
Right.
And that's
So
kind
souls and free will are also different things, right?
of right, exactly. And I think part of it also, there is like a bit of desperation in Levette to prove this to people. Like
Mhm.
she's kind of weary about it, but she wants on some level to prove to somebody that this doesn't matter because of her guilt over original Moira and the idea that that person might have lost their personhood because of her, that they might have died like for real.
Yeah. Or not even just died for real, but become completely erased from existence.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, died
Yeah.
the way that dying in real life works.
We don't know that.
Yeah, to have the her her spark snuffed out from the universe
Exactly.
permanently.
I feel
Right.
confident that within 2 or 3 episodes we'll have worked all of this out. Like all the issues of free will, predestination, personhood, souls, consciousness.
Probably, yeah.
We'll have wrapped that up in a couple
Before you
couple
guys
more
even get
episodes.
through Golgothia, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Easy, easy.
I'm
It's so
pretty sure that's
easy.
what the lizard dudes are here to talk to us about.
I'm so excited to meet the Kadali, even if they're gonna fuck us over. We've never met a Kadali before.
I'm looking forward
a
to getting a
Kadal,
coat
for
made out
singular.
of the skin.
What?
Yeah,
Nothing.
cut those skins down.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I
It was a joke. It was
well,
a joke.
I at first thought we were gonna see like a
boots.
yellow dragon, and Beardy had made like a new dragon that's unique to our world. Was really excited about that because he had like warned us about it like a dragon. So I was like, "What the fuck is a yellow dragon? What element does it breathe? I love dragons, you know." Fuck them all. That's the new Pokemon slogan, right?
First of all, a yellow dragon breathes jaundice. So,
It's better than I was thinking.
So I was really excited about that because I'm like, yay, dragon. Don't want to face it, but I love dragons. I always will. It's really hard making characters that don't like dragons.
I hate dragons.
I know you do.
So much.
Yeah.
But being able to meet a Kadal or the Kadali in general, maybe in these coming episodes, I'm really excited. This will be the first time we've met this race, and we don't know anything about them.
Cadeli Parton.
Fun damage.
Oh, write it down, Beardy.
Hold on. I gotta make a note of something real quick, unrelated to what we're talking about.
Make it
We'll talk
happen.
a little bit more about the Kadali towards the end, but we have some other stuff to talk about first, because other things happened in this episode, almost on the level of importance of debating questions of personhood and consciousness. Hummel got his hat, which
Get his hat.
has far-reaching philosophical implications, I think, that will
Yeah,
be debated by
pissing me
scholars
off.
for decades to come. Thoughts on the hat?
I'm so excited and
Ugh.
also very sorry.
Let's see. I remember because we're like I've been recovering, getting back to 100% after getting the vaccine, just like getting back in headspace. But even with all that, I was like, I have to fucking do that this episode. I know it. God damn it.
Like, I find it very funny that I asked Skrewy, I was like, oh, did you ask, like, Xeno if he'd be cool with that? And he's like, well, I asked him about the spell, and I was like, that's not the same question.
Not at all.
Because he's like, can you cast a spell? I'm like, yeah, I can. But I mean, I'm fine with role playing. It's just, it's going to be worse than if I like
Like,
committed
designated,
to
yeah.
one personality.
I have a feeling, just kind of based on how people do when they have, like, a select person, because I did this a lot with Soul, was, like, you focus on that one character you care about, and no one else. And I'm worried Petravian's just gonna only talk to Hummel now, and the rest of us are gonna be like, we're still here. Hi, dude. My dude.
I think that will be fine because we can call him on it pretty quickly.
I mean, well, because also predominantly Hummel's just going to be a yes man for Petravian.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, fucking Riz is... They did not enjoy their time with Hummel when you two switched bodies. So they're already like, fucking... I'm done. I've been living in bliss.
I can say this because Skrewy's not here. I am legitimately more excited about the fact that Hummel has a tiny top hat than the fact that he can talk now.
It so
I just-
goes against Xeno's style for everything, though.
It's like, all right,
Oh,
you
it
can't,
does.
you can't
I
see
do
it.
admit.
It's too small to see anyways. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I figure it's very small.
like a
You
Polly
can't see unless
Pocket
you're like
top
looking
hat.
at him real close. It's
Like
like
a
it's like smaller than a
microscope?
thimble. Not that small.
Definitely a microscope.
Definitely smaller than a thimble.
Yeah, because a
Um,
thimble would be the same size as a bee.
Oh, you're
So
right,
it'd,
wouldn't
it'd
it?
be bigger than a bee.
Yeah, it'd be bigger.
Okay,
than
well,
Top
yes.
hat and a
head.
pixie sword. What more do you need?
Exactly.
What the fuck is that?
I mean, he can
That's,
take
that's
the hat
Hummel
off if he
unable to
wants.
hold the
I'm not
fucking
gonna-
sword.
I just see
I
Hummel doing the whole whatever the old-fashioned like tumble of the hat down with the umbrella, the cane instead of the umbrella. It'd be
Exactly.
like,
I was like, yeah, I guess it's not really
Right.
Vera's style, but it does seem kind of like Hummel's style.
I don't see Hummel really wearing a top hat. But then again,
Well,
top hats
no, but I
aren't
couldn't make him a
great.
tiny vest, all right? For fuck's sake.
no, that would be ridiculous.
That'd be hot.
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm only gonna be able to do it once in a while, just because like typically I'm just thinking about, hey, what's Vera thinking in this
Right.
situation, and then I'll just say the opposite, and that'll be Hummel.
Yeah, I guess it'll be less individuality, maybe, when it comes to that because of this instance, is what I'm guessing. Just because you do have to think that way a little too fast compared to if you had been focusing on one character. Am I completely off, or? Yeah. So, I don't know.
I was kind of fascinated though when Kurla spoke to Hummel, thanking Hummel for intervening and making sure that Vera didn't kill Kurla. Hummel's reaction to that and Vera's reaction to that was kind of entertaining to me. It's like, wait, no, hold on.
Which one's that?
Go ahead.
No, what? 'Cause I remember. I didn't remember at first because, once again, I was kind of out of it slightly just because of, once again, vaccine stuff.
Drugs, hardcore drugs.
It was after the whole church thing and just after you'd switched bodies back and we left wherever it was, the Holy City.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd had an abrupt chat when Reduvi was getting better.
Yeah, I remember that part and stuff. It's just I had to remember what Hummel had actually said.
Yeah.
Because Hummel, I forgot that Hummel had literally talked to Vera like
before switching.
See? They're apologizing. All right, don't get angry at them.
Please. For the bees.
So Skrewy's not with us
Unfortunately.
today, obviously, unfortunately. He's fine. He's
Reese's and
pieces.
Pieces.
He's no longer with us.
He's no longer with us.
Unfortunately.
May God rest his soul, or whatever people say.
Lovett will have to make another robot.
With Eden now.
He's with Eden now, yeah.
Screwy robot. Everyone's like, who is this? She's like, I have no idea. I just felt compelled to make him. He acts just like Marcus. I don't know what happened.
But we can talk about at least one side of the conversation that he had with Mellifera.
Yeah.
So Beardy, thoughts on that?
I mean, it was a relatively short conversation.
What happened in that?
He was asking about his armor.
Oh, that's right. He was asking about,
yeah.
Clarifying.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember
Mellifera.
now.
Because-
It was like, well, I was dead at the time.
Oh, I fucking love that.
That was
That's
such
so
a good line, Beardy. Well, I was
I
dead,
was dead.
so...
Like, yeah. I mean, I had died. Yeah.
It's like,
So-
you're an all-knowing god that has... Yeah, no. Bitch, I got shanked with a fucking snake tooth, but, you know, it's fine.
Yeah, let's just bring that up again.
Yeah, it doesn't still hurt.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for bringing that up.
I mean, it's a fair.
Yeah.
It was a fair point for him to bring up because, like, it is basically a interpretation of her sister's work.
Right.
Because literally, Mellifera just repurposes kind of organic material and makes it better, and that's what she does for light armor. And like Calyptra's like beetle armor is just much better because it's heavy armor.
It's fascinating to me. It's just like we bring this up. I feel like every checkpoint, but just how Petra's interactions with his religions relate to Skrewy's interaction with his own beliefs, and how like none of the faiths in Adrian really function like his does in real life.
Well, the light
as far as I
does.
understand it. Well, the light does, sure, but like none of the ones Petra's following.
No.
And he seems to be like he's not like acting in defiance of that, but seeing him like kind of still figuring out the waters is really fascinating to me, because so for me it's so clear cut, but it just feels like mythology, right? Like
Yeah.
the primal gods are all fucking beings. They're just creatures basically, just big ass boss monsters.
Really strong fucking... They're like the Titans or something, almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And but then him to have this approach of like you're saying, like, oh well, they are gods, therefore they're all omniscient.
It's like, I can't just look at you and only you, my
Mhm.
dude.
My dude.
I just think it's funny adding my dude to like godly things. It just makes it more amusing to me because I'm like, yeah, big cosmic power. My dude, fam, broski.
Well, I mean, we had at least one deity in Adron who does act pretty much exactly like that. So,
He's not the only one, but you know.
yeah, We'll get into that. While
We
we're,
should
while
meet
we're bad-mouthing-
Dimerian sometime.
Oh, you don't want to meet Valerian.
Which one's Demirian again?
He's the two-faced one.
Okay.
Oh dear. Well, while we're talking about Skrewy behind his back and taking the mickey out of him, let's talk about him trying to train Plu.
I absolutely adored Plu, if it is Plu. It's so good. It's so cute.
Has
I'm
anyone
sus.
seen Plu and Chisel in the same position at
No!
the same time
We
recently?
haven't seen Chisel recently.
I have a different question, and is that has anyone heard Plu actually say Plu?
No!
No.
Did Plu say
Since-
Plu in this episode?
No,
though? I
that
can't
was just
remember.
us.
Okay.
Us. Us.
Yeah.
We're in such
I mean,
trouble.
I
We're in
love
such
this slime though. This slime is adorable, and I want to see more of it.
How do we
More
test
of it.
this? We see if Chisel is still an asshole.
Yeah, and that doesn't have a ditto face.
Broskies! When we put the next hat on Chisel, because I'm pretty sure that's one of the things Petravian once made, let's see if
Totally.
it fucking says Plu.
Look, putting the top hat on a
That'd be
tiny V, I think is the right balance of silliness, and it's not too in your face. I'm terrified. I don't think I'm gonna make a hat for Chisel.
Well, here's the thing: if we
I
were to
refuse.
if we were to give him that hat and he
Mhm.
was a slime,
Yeah.
he wouldn't be able to talk because he wouldn't be an animal,
Oh.
right? He's a slime. He's a monster,
I can't do this.
Put the hat
Look
on him,
Beardy's face
and
is
his
like,
and it's Chisel
mouth
snorts.
just immediately.
Father.
Is there a talk with monsters spell?
Isn't there?
I don't
No?
think
That's
so.
No.
Mostly
Why?
because they usually can talk, I think. Probably?
They can't.
No.
I wouldn't say they usually can talk.
What do we
no.
consider a monster? Wait, I should ask this.
It's an actual like term. Like,
Oh, it's an
Yeah.
actual term.
it's
okay.
like animal, and then there's like beast, and then monster, or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, there's
Can't
like this magical beast.
Animal,
That's
vegetable,
one.
mineral, monster.
I wonder
I mean,
why
really,
that
a
doesn't-
monster is basically everything that's not a humanoid or an animal,
You racist motherfucker.
as far as
Goblins are just monstrous humanoids, though, right? Like, that's the weird thing.
Yes.
There's a
Mhm.
category of monstrous humanoid,
Yeah, monstrous humanoid. Yeah.
which
I
is
mean,
what Pador is.
If we're
Yeah.
being real, what the reason there's no speak with monsters because the monster tag means it's okay to kill this thing in D&D.
To some degree.
Classically speaking.
Classically
Tragic.
speaking, yeah.
We have a lot of gray areas in our show, though.
Yeah,
It's like-
particularly when half the characters in Snake Eyes are monsters.
Oh, yeah, most of them are monstrous characters. I think Moo and Pringle aren't? And that's it?
And they're two of the most monstrous in terms of their ethics, so I like what you
Well,
did
they're
there.
both the evil characters, so...
Moose?
Moo is technically true evil.
Oh,
I
shit.
originally had them as chaotic neutral, but based on their actions, you'll find out later when it comes off of hiatus. Yay!
Wow, Moo, good job not proving stereotypes.
Oh.
God.
Look, not okay. Here's the. Here's
They don't
the,
have
I'm just gonna
slaves?
take a quick tangent, real quick after that one. So like I this is the Drizzt effect, right?
Yeah.
Who?
It's because Drizzt exists.
Oh, that
now
fucking
every
guy.
dark elf. Now every dark elf has to be good, and it upsets me. Like he was meant to be the exception to the rule, not the paving the way to make every dark elf good. And it just annoys me that now every dark elf is represented as being a good character, and it's like, stop it. They're
Not my
bad.
experience.
They do bad things.
Not my experience.
I mean,
Look, all I'm saying is I tried to break the mold and they took the dark elf out of me.
they slapped it out of you.
Like, I don't know what there's nothing I could do.
I mean,
Listen, you're not really dark elf if you don't do this stuff. so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
the thing is, with Moo, it was very hard starting them off because I really wasn't sure what I wanted with the character other than having a funny scientist person.
Mm-hmm.
And developing them, I was like, oh, well, obviously they would see something this way because of how they were raised. It's just a normal thing to them. And they already have enough social issues of being neurodivergent where they just can't connect with people anyways, in the same way, that there isn't even good intentions behind their actions. It's just, I want this thing, I'm going to get this thing, I don't really care about you, but if you're in my way, I guess you're going to have to go.
I mean, my running theory has always been that Moo is a sociopath. I just didn't.
I think
I don't know how to play a sociopath, so it wasn't my
that's
intention.
How I would do it.
I mostly was just playing them as very neurodivergent.
I think Moo and Zulin would get along.
Oh
very
yeah,
well.
I
Yeah.
imagine them like in a fucking lab, and they each have their opposite sides of a lab.
Because Zulin definitively is a sociopath. So
I can't wait to play season 3. Jesus
Oh
Christ.
boy.
Oh fuck. That's one thing that scares me.
I decided to poison their water source because I could.
I just wanted to see what would happen. It's
Now
fine.
I'm going to, yeah.
I just wanted the results.
oh, I can't wait to take notes.
Oh,
That'd be so good.
Like your character's legit gonna be a note taker like on his own.
Mhm.
That's gonna
Oh,
be fun.
goodness.
But
You
sorry,
get the obsession log.
I did
Yeah.
tangent quite a bit, so I do apologize.
Oh, that's what, isn't that what this is about?
That is what Checkpoint's about, but I
That's
try to
exactly what
avoid
Checkpoint's
Snake
about.
Eyes from Check Please stuff.
However, if you're not watching Snake,
If you're not-
watch
Watch all our
Point
shit.
Eyes, Snake, please. If you're
Oh,
not watching
God.
Snake Eyes,
That's
This
that's
snack point.
spin off.
Snake Point.
Yeah.
Snack point.
Snake Point.
That's
Snake Eyes,
amazing.
it's on hiatus. You should absolutely watch it. There are 12 episodes for you to catch up on.
Also, I would like to say Thess sounds like a snake god,
Thess.
so
Especially for
I
Levette.
back up Vera for thinking it was a snake god.
You, the player who plays Vera, would back Vera's thoughts?
Yes,
What?
I do.
That's
Madness.
crazy.
Well, should we?
Sounds like a snake god.
Thank you for that nice little segue, actually, because that's the next point on our list. The two things that got said at the fireside chat, one of which was getting into the problems that Riz was having with Thess, so the rest of the party found out about that.
Oh.
Reactions to that? Thoughts about that?
Potentially called it.
Right.
Dig into that. Dig into
Getting
that.
a little ahead of
Yeah,
ourselves.
yeah,
But
talk-
the
yeah.
talk
fucking-
about your thoughts.
I put potentially, but
Mhm.
just the fact that it seems like he's like, yeah, I have to get rid of it. It's like that's what we said. You didn't believe us though.
Yeah.
But now that your god friend is over here, now you're like, okay, maybe I'll believe him.
And I love.
I don't like the idea, though.
And you know what's even better though? Is
Look.
if you do that and then it turns out not to be what you have to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame
Oh.
you. But
What?
you know, I thought in that moment I was like, I guess I could donate to the Hive, but I don't know if Riz would donate money to an elder being's religion, and that sounds kind of gross. Like, if you were like any other religion, they'd probably be like, well, this goes to a good cause.
Jeez. Oh.
Actually,
Oh,
now
that's
now
awesome.
that Melly's been like basically reborn, what is the actual definition of them? Because they're no longer a primal god, are they still? Or is there a new term?
No, yeah, they're still a primal god.
Okay.
Yeah, they are just alive again. They were a dead primal god with just vestiges of divine energy kind of scattered around the world, and because of what you guys did, you managed to kind of restart the being's life. So
Praise
and Molifer's
be.
alive again. Praise be.
I feel like, Kenny, the fact that you really don't like the idea of giving all the money away is the strongest hint towards it.
Well,
Because,
I'm like, last night I was like this close to being like, let's go to the fucking ocean. I'm dumping it all, bitches. I was really mad. Like, I went through so many scenarios in my head. I was like, just fucking, here you go, Pelias.
just
Have fun.
buy, like 3 full price magic items and you would be 90% of the way there.
But that's still a selfish, like,
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, that is a selfish way out. But I was like, gold was what was in the riddle. They did specify
Yeah.
the.
I know, but at the
currency.
same time, earlier when we went to the temple, he
Mhm.
was like, oh, like, it's a spark inside of you,
Yeah.
too. So
He's-
I'm like, what the fuck does that
Right.
mean?
Yeah, he said there was like some kind of spark inside that was definitively incredibly important.
And
to
I'm
the riddle.
terrified because Levette had a spark that got taken away. And I don't know what that would be for me. Yikes.
Yeah, yikes
Yeah.
is a good way of putting it.
It's too much existential crisis for me that I think Riz is just gonna
I will.
for a while.
I will say this: there is not a time limit to that
Mhm.
for Riz. Like there is no like urgency.
I
to
know.
finishing
I would
it,
imagine.
So you can.
They've been at it for a bit, so I'd
Yeah.
imagine as much.
I'm gonna be honest. When I was talking to Beardy last night before bed, I was like, I'm probably gonna hold off on solving this until we're just about done with the campaign. I think because I was
think
like,
that's probably reasonable.
whatever it is, I have a bad feeling I'm not gonna be as useful without it.
Well, I don't know about that, but you might be a different character, right?
Yeah.
Like, what if you get your memories back? Like, then you might just be a different person. You're like, well, I'm not fucking invested in this anymore. Bye. Like, we don't know.
Or too invested.
Or that. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're too invested in saving the, I don't know, too invested in saving the world's a problem for the rest of the party. I think we'd be okay with that.
No, not the rest of the party. Just whatever's going on with that thing. Whatever the character I'm playing that is not just my character that I have embodied,
Right, sure.
but like the past person that I don't remember. Yeah, amnesia
Yeah.
backstory.
Who got up to some naughty shit? Made a, what was it, a splash? Made a...
Yeah, I made a splash in the other, in the
Mm,
Pantheon, I
tisk
believe.
tisk.
Mhm.
Also, one other topic I want to say that I think my favorite moment in the whole session was when Kyle and I were silently giving each other an internet high five because Cloak confirmed our guess.
Yeah, I like how you didn't listen to us, but you listened to Cloak. But now you're saying that if it doesn't turn out to be right, you'll blame us and not Cloak.
Yeah.
Oh, me the player.
Because
Because,
cool, you can't blame Cloak.
oh, I
Cloak-
fucking love
Cloak.
Cloak.
Is so good.
He's so... The first time I like got to interact with him, I was like, I am just attracted to gods, apparently, or just like a lot of very overly confident characters. But at the same time, I really liked Voluna. I just like gods. Fuck it.
Also-
Like, let me fuck dragons. Let me fuck gods.
Going back to the fireside points thing,
Hmm.
people did not like that. Vera, it's like, oh yeah, I forgive you. Like, what? It's like, hey, that's what you wanted.
Wait,
You're
wait,
talking
Forgive
about
what?
the
Wasn't that the same one where Crow's apologizing for being like horrible to the party in the beginning?
Oh yeah.
I was like, yep,
Sorry.
forgiven.
We were still talking about Thess, so I didn't know like where your tangent went to.
Well, I mean,
Right.
Yeah, I
back to
kinda
what
jumped
we,
around.
it went to.
two fireside points. But yeah, were there any other? I feel weird asking. Like, did any thoughts on what I did? But were there any
That's
thoughts
how I-
on
Yeah.
Vera's reaction and so on?
I mean, at least for the apologizing to the group about the actions, I was like, I'm pretty sure the group had maybe just subconsciously forgiven you anyways, and it might have just been more of a thing for Kurla in that
Yeah.
moment than everyone else. So it was like, yeah, this is a thing you need to do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Curl's literally already apologized to.
Yeah.
Like
Over time.
individually,
And
to Vera
yeah.
certainly individually, and Levette I think individually. Probably not
Mhm.
Petravian.
Everyone at this point is like, yep, you're good.
They're trying to be nicer. They're not.
I
They
think-
don't know how to fucking do it.
I will say actually with Vera saying, "Yep, you're forgiven." Like in character, Levette's like, "What the fuck?" Like, there's nothing to forgive. But out of character, I was like, you know, Carla probably need to hear that. Really, just need to hear somebody be like, "Yeah, that was fucked up, but it's cool now."
We cool, bro. We cool.
Cool.
And then I get turned around and betrayed by someone else. But we can talk about that a little bit because we talked about the reactions y'all had to Riz's sort of story coming out at the fireplace, and then Cloak. Let's get into the Cloak conversation because
Yeah.
there was confirmation of theories that people had been bandying about, and even what Levette and Vera and people had said at the fireside. But then we got it right from the horse's mouth. No, the horse is not. Wasn't
The,
there?
No,
the
God's mouth.
Yeah.
the horse doesn't
I
have
mean-
a mouth.
The Cloak's mouth.
the dark void of all light cloaked figure.
Although tangentially, I am now even more terrified of that fucking horse. I tried to make amends, and no, not happening. But Cloak.
It heard
Let's talk
you.
about Cloak.
It heard you. Isn't that great?
Yeah, fantastic. Cloak.
Cloak. What that bitch.
Sassy bitch.
That sassy bitch.
Love 'em.
I love
Yeah.
Cloak so much.
Eh?
You got to also see, in a way, Riz's mask that they present when they talk to a god, too.
Yeah, they're kind of, well,
they
Putting
kind
on
of
the charm, I
changed
guess?
gears of how they talk to someone because of who it was, which kind of plays to Riz being more of a pragmatist, so it's like whatever benefits them in a moment.
Yeah. Whatever
That's
benefits Riz.
not concerning at all. So we got to learn about, after Kurla traded some very personal information to Cloak, more about Riz's situation of how to kind of gain forgiveness from Thess in a way, and more so just the hint of like how to solve the riddle, which I am still bad at, obviously.
It's a dolphin.
You use all the money to buy
all
as
the
many
riddles.
dolphins as you can.
It's just the answer is always dolphin.
Give the
It's just
money
like,
to
alright,
the
no,
dolphins.
Beardy, how much does one dolphin cost? I know like an elephant costs like 30 gold. So dolphin. What we
We're
got?
filling the
5?
fucking ocean.
Is it 1 to 5 gold?
I would say a dolphin, like if you're gonna buy a trained dolphin, I would say it's in the tune to maybe about 100 gold.
It's more than an
We can
elephant.
buy so many
Yeah.
dolphins.
It's a lot harder to get a hold of a dolphin.
I feel like a dolphin probably costs more than an elephant in real life.
Yeah.
100 gold. I'll spend it on on a train. I didn't realize an elephant was an option. I want both now.
I mean,
You guys got
technically,
the money for it.
yeah, you can have as many animals as you want. It'll just be hard to keep track of, and we're gonna smell so bad.
So much worse.
Yeah. Well, right now we smell terrible, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Think about like all the egg smell on our clothes after we're out
Oh,
of this
yeah.
place.
All the good sulfur again.
Smells
I
like
was
eggs, right?
checking to see how long my air bubble spell would work, but it's only 1 minute per level, so 15 minutes.
It's like just
8 of those spell slots.
just
2
for
hours worth
something
of fresh
today.
air, and that's it. Ah, dear.
But at that point, it's like I might as well just keep smelling this, or else when I get back in, it's gonna be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get used to it. Try to go nose blind.
Yeah. It eventually
So-
happens.
So the thing that Kurla traded to Cloak, Riz's reaction was that Riz had kind of suspected that. I was hoping you could dig into that a little bit more. And
So
be
it's just-
curious.
A lot of Kurla's actions are very self-blaming to begin with. And even if it was a lot of like, I actually want some of this stuff sometimes, and it's hard to avoid these feelings. I don't know, maybe that was me as a player coming in, but I just wasn't surprised by it at all. I was just like, yeah, that checks out, that makes sense.
Kind of same.
So
I mean, it wasn't meant to come as a surprise, and it's the fact that she actually admitted to it, or they actually admitted to it, that was more.
the Riz would have never blamed you for that. They consider themselves an extremely selfish being because they're always working for their self other than for the gods. So they just couldn't see, like, there's wrongs in it, but at the same time it's like you're also your own person and you've obviously handled yourself, so why would I blame you for that?
Well, that's a kind and generous way of looking at it as far as Kurla is concerned.
That's just how Riz is. They're like, yeah, it's cool.
And yet, yeah, Riz's self-interest.
Yeah, so a while ago, I think like 2 episodes, I realized Riz wanted to tell you about how they had betrayed your trust. Because going into that episode where we revived Malifera and Kurla and Riz had a heart-to-heart, their goal that day was to get your information. Yeah,
You
it's-
manipulative.
yeah, it was, I'm really glad we didn't have cameras on because I smiled when you gave me your backstory. And I was like, fucking got it. Like, it was like I got a trading card and stole
Oh
it from, like,
my
a kid. It was
And
awful.
I thought that was such a sweet.
It was a
touching
sweet moment. Aren't I a good actor?
I'm loving every second of this. This is great. I love it.
the truth come out. Does Bruno Mars is gay?
See, I wasn't hurt. I wasn't hurt last night. I'm feeling hurt now.
I'm sorry. I was like, well, I'm not gonna say this as Riz because that would be a bit much, and they're already feeling bad about that. But
As well
this
they
is the
fucking
truth.
should.
This is the truth of it.
Literally, Kenny would talk about at least like once a week. Talking about, I'm excited for when Emmy gets to hear the episode where I trade in the secret.
Just immediately, just got the thing, turn around to another secret room, just boom.
Gave it immediately to Cloak.
Wow.
This is
That is
wonderful.
pretty appalling.
So fucking cold.
Yeah, it was awful.
I mean, I'm glad that you feel bad about it, or at least you recognize it's evil.
Oh
It's
no,
fucking
I
awful.
knew it was a bad thing to do. I was just like, oh,
Ah,
this.
But you don't feel bad about it. It's
But you do
completely
now.
What you would have done.
Oh,
right?
Riz feels bad about it. I
right.
don't.
Well, no. I mean, obviously, we're doing the player versus character thing. It's yeah.
Yeah. Risen actually feels really terrible about it, and they don't know how to deal with feeling bad about something for someone else right now, actually. These are new feelings. Because they can feel bad for themselves about Thess not liking them. That's not new. They would be upset if they are not in good graces. They feel terrible about Terrace being upset that they haven't killed people in a while. Yeah, it's fucked up, I know. But they've always been a self-serving person. So to have someone that they care about so much that they feel bad about an action that they did for themselves is really weird for them.
Interesting.
For it was Terrace, is that?
Yeah, Terra. I just fucking do the symbol.
Like, literally, you could just tell Vera, hey, there's some evil people over there. It's like,
No,
there you
Riz
go.
would do it themselves. They don't get other people to do their dirty work unless it's like absolutely necessary.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more bodies for Terrace.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
So, what was it that kind of prompted that confession then at that point? It was just that Riz couldn't, like, keep up the...
So,
You said that had been boiling for a couple of episodes.
yeah, a couple
wanting
of
to
episodes.
Confess that.
The evening that Kurla spent with Riz after the eye cream spell, and there was like more of a heart-to-heart in that moment, a lot of stuff kind of clicked for Riz, and they're like, oh, I should be more honest with this person. I want to share more things with them, and this is probably the worst thing I've done to them. I should probably come clean about that. And they just haven't had, like, the right opportunity to tell Kurla, and since that involved Cloak to begin with, they're like, you know what, I'm just gonna get it out of the way. Fuck it. Like, if you hate me now, then that's the end of it, and I would never blame you for that, because I guess I care.
It's interesting. Should I be interpreting it or rather, should Kurla be interpreting it that you only told them because Cloak might have... Although, no, it came at the... If you'd said it at the beginning of the conversation, then it might have been, I need to get this out of the way because otherwise Cloak might spill the beans and that'll look worse. But no, you said it
Yeah,
at the
I
end,
don't...
so...
If you watch my expressions during Cloak being like, I thought you were going to tell me information I already knew, and, like, talking about your backstory and stuff, you can see me just physically moving my face away from the camera and not looking at it, and just being like, fuck.
See, and I had read that as just, the gods know these things, and why the hell not? I was looking up at my camera, I wasn't looking at the screen, so I didn't see.
Yeah. And I was
Keni.
that close to calling it out specifically by saying, like, oh, Riz already told me
I
all this.
figured.
I was this close. And
I was like,
nah, better not.
I had debated before that session, because you had told me you had wanted
I mean, that's
to
a
talk to
juicy
Cloak.
secret all its own, isn't it?
I would love to have, if Cloak was like, Kurla, if you have any more secrets, I have one
got a
for
secret
you.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
It's like,
Which-
how about instead I give you this secret?
Which, speaking of which, I actually wasn't expecting you to give the secret that you were. I thought you were potentially going to give away the secret Vera told to you.
Ah,
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was
Ooh.
like, oh, I thought you were gonna give away Vera's secret, because that would be like
interesting.
layers of betrayal from each character over
Oh.
time.
Well,
Those were
shit.
delicious.
That would have made for some really, really interesting character
Well-
and plot development, and it never even crossed my mind.
Riz probably wouldn't have felt as bad though if you had given away Vera's secret.
That's true.
They would have been like, oh,
Dude,
well,
the same
this
thing.
happened then. I did that too. Don't worry about it. They would have
It
been
didn't-
far more nonchalant about what they did.
It didn't occur to me as a player. I'm wondering if it should have occurred to me as a character. But no,
I would
don't
say
think
if
it would
it-
have occurred to Curler either.
Yeah. I think if it didn't occur to you as a player, then a character that spawned from your head probably wouldn't think of it either.
Yeah.
No, I just need to be more evil. But Curler instantly forgave you, or seemingly instantly forgave you. So what was that reaction-wise? How did you react to that reaction? How did you imagine Curler was going to react?
And
we
how
were going to throw down?
And how forgiven do you feel?
How forgiven do I feel? Riz doesn't think they deserve it, but they said that audibly. They're fairly blunt, if not sometimes a little too mysterious with what they mean. I think they're very conflicted, if anything. Again, they're dealing with new emotions that they're not sure how to feel about having to begin with, so...
So in some ways, they kind of might want Curler to be pissed off with them and angry with them and take time to forgive them.
I mean, in itself, they would never blame you for having emotions. That just wouldn't fit their MO to begin with. They'd be like, well, it's fine. You actually have a reason to be upset with me other than before, where you didn't, in my opinion, which was their first fight of... I called down lightning and saved Levette, and then you told me to stay the fuck away from you. And
Well, yes,
that
you
very
called
much so
down
bothered them.
Thunder and lightning, which was triggering, but anyway.
But to
But not for
Riz, they
reasons
were
that
just
you would've-
like, that was uncalled for a person.
No, understood, but I mean, those were that was not reasons that would have been understood, but it's interesting because in that moment I really did just want to forgive you, and I don't think that would have been the case prior to Mythelion or even just prior to Palayana.
Mm-hmm.
And it really was, I can't be angry at you about this because all the secret's out now anyway, and yeah, you betrayed my trust, but at the same time, we've moved further than that, you know?
Yeah,
But
I think
now
this was a
I'm
good
also-
time for Riz to open up about stuff.
But I also have to wonder, should I have played that? Should I have played it more? Maybe Curler isn't as okay with it as they think. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
That's a thing that can hit you later, right? Like you
Yeah,
can be like
absolutely.
in the moment, oh, I feel so sorry. You're
Yeah, I
fine. You're
mean-
fine. Then you think about it later, and you're like, fuck that.
humans are humans. Like, your emotions, you yourself change. You're in a constant state of change, so it's fine. I don't think the Sims music needs to be playing right now,
Are you
Xeno.
sure
I'm
about that?
sorry.
It's like a play. It's the difficulty in balancing the player character thing though, because like as a player, when the two characters were really like on the outs with each other, that was rough for me as a player because obviously we're close and it's weird. So I'm trying to make sure in my head that it's not like, okay, am I avoiding more conflict between these two characters, even though it would be potentially good for character and story, just because I don't want to
Well,
have to be doing that as
I'm
a
not
player.
gonna be mad at you. I'm gonna be
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna
yeah,
say.
that's a story.
I mean, conversely, also I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any harm in that, right? As long as you don't take it to like an insane extreme. I have done that with Levette, I think, to some degree. She was very much roaming against the rest of the party in early season 1, and I just, as a player, was sick of coming to D&D to not be friends with my friends every week. And so I just kind of made her stop. So I don't think that there's really harm in that personally.
and
I don't think that the story hurt for it.
And also, there's nothing wrong with at least even holding on to that as a way of distrusting or holding against a character. Like Vera has a few things that they still hold against people, certain actions from season 1 that they keep in the back of their head, but
Back of your sack.
in the back of my sack.
Of course she does.
I wouldn't blame you for something like that. And even if like Curla just gets upset one day and just blows up at Riz, I think that's still justified in that action because yeah, that was a really shitty thing I chose to do. I still don't feel bad about it.
Well, they do. Well, you again.
Me, the
getting
player, I do not feel bad about it.
No, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Obviously, Riz fucking should.
I'm very tactical, and I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to get more information for myself. Let's go.
Tricky. Very tricksy. Anyway, good learning experience for me as a player. I'm like, how can I screw over Keni in season 3?
Oh, don't worry. Life already did that. Have fun. I get to be sad boy for season 3. Woo!
Jules will protect you, don't worry. Anyway, moving along to the outcome of all of that shit with Riz, and Riz suddenly...
Oh, I did want to actually say one thing.
Yeah, please.
I owe Mask. I mean, I owe Cloak. Just a freebie, I feel like, after all that. Just as a feeling, I was like, I feel bad that he had to deal with unpleasantness, because I actually do genuinely care about them, because to Riz, that is their original family, is the gods. Those are the people who have always been with them. So, that they cause distress isn't something that they're happy about, so they actually just want to give him a free secret in the future.
Well, if you find out Vera's backstory.
Oh no, I have a secret for him.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. You'll get to find out later, though.
Yeah. Just imagine eating like a rotten tomato.
I was this close to being like, well, I don't like tomatoes, so like just eating a tomato sounds awful.
Yeah, right?
I was this close, but I was like, this is a serious moment right now.
I will say that it's kind of nice, though, as a player, to know that my character has grown close enough to your character that the secret has come out. Like, there has been that level of development between them. That's kind of cool.
The secret come out.
The what now?
Sorry.
Oh, it's a meme. The secret come
It's a
out.
very
Does
old
Bruno
meme,
Mars
like,
is gay? That's what I said earlier. It's fine. We're so into memes and pop culture.
It's not even a meme now. It's just a dead quote.
It's a
from
dead
Game
quote.
Grumps.
That was our life, guys.
As a result of this conversation with Cloak and the betrayal of Curler by Riz, and the information that came from that, Riz started to not charge for their
It
fortune.
sucked.
What was that like?
Like I was stabbing myself on purpose. I know Grem saw my face of pain while I was doing it. Like, I guess I'll do that. Like, I'm not gonna do fortune telling, because it's my job. But not charging was really hard.
Well, it's penance. I think Grem said it well earlier, that, yeah, if it's that horrible and difficult for you, then yes, it must be penance. It must be a sign that
Yeah,
it's what you
because
should be doing.
a lot of our characters, if the gods were like, hey, all your problems will go away if you give away all your money. Levette, who's like known for being about money, would have been like, that's it? Fuck it. That's easy.
I have a hoard. There's so much fucking money I have, and I just keep it. I've never used it.
Give it to your friend Curler as recompense for
Well,
your sins.
I was thinking about talking to you about it, but at the same time, I was going through so many different thoughts after that conversation of what I wanted to do. Like I said, I'm like this close to just dumping it in the fucking ocean.
Give it all to a stable hand as a tip.
We'll talk. There'll be opportunities to talk more.
How about we just go back to Codre and I give it to the people so they can uprise against
Yeah,
Proto.
Fund the revolution.
Fund the revolution.
Something like that is probably...
That's fucking dope.
Viva la revolution!
Hey, and then
Do
we'll get...
you hear the people sing?
You give them all this money and they're like, we gotta make a statue of you or something. You're like, no statues.
No
Just
statues,
take
that's-
no, I just want to take money. I'm
Take the
going."
fucking money and win, okay? Okay,
What
cool.
would be even better is they want to make a statue of you, but they're all like, "Oh no, we have to make it like this. No, they look like this."
Look, that's not what they look like. No,
Yeah,
they look like that. And they just fight each other and then they all die. It's great.
Oh,
I want a
God.
statue.
Okay, be like, alright, Curla, you have to give the money for me so we don't come to this.
We'll talk. I think there is potential for some interesting.
It's either
developments
that
in
or funding Vera's navigation of taking down Mythalian, like, as, like, a guerrilla operation and directing people down there.
Interesting. Yeah, I can get behind that too. Anyway, but there is opportunity. Do you think we'll see more of that in future? Are you gonna suck it up and give away more free fortunes?
Let me deal with the mourning of not charging for my fortunes right now.
Fair enough. Did the sugar cube really not help cheer you up?
I mean, it was funny to me as a player, but at the same time, Riz was like, I feel like this is punishment for me lying, and that's cool. You know, I get it. I'm sorry.
That was genuinely Curler trying to be sweet and cheer you up. Aww. If Curler wanted to punish you, they'd find a genuinely mean way of doing it.
That's true.
Yeah, still.
They just stab you.
They're very sore right now, I suppose is the best way to say it.
Curler will have to be more careful about teasing you then.
I think it became more punishing when we decided immediately after the fact that everyone was in fact just sitting there watching us.
Yeah. It's just like,
That made my night. That was fucking great.
everyone knows I'm an idiot. Sandwich!
What are you? You're an idiot sandwich. It was cute though. I thought that was sweet. I like the dynamic that's evolved there. I like all the dynamics that have evolved within the party. It's kind of cool to be a part of. But anyway. Naomi.
What's the deal with Naomi?
What is the deal
Sweet
with Naomi?
babble.
Naomi, sorry.
Naomi, beg pardon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cup hands. Cup hands.
Yeah, it's a good thing we didn't bust into her room and see her horrible lobster claws.
I mean, that would have been fucking badass because I've forgotten her name now.
Naomi.
Naomi.
No, not Naomi.
Oh.
The other one with fucking lobster claws from She-Ra. But
Oh, Scorpio.
Oh,
that's the
Scorpio.
one. Thank you.
God, I love her.
She gives great hugs.
Yeah.
Just like Yarkulus.
Yaculus
And
gives better
Hildy.
hugs.
That's true. Yaculus has extra arms.
But
And more curling you know, it's fine.
I had thought werewolf, but obviously you had been mentioning the moon phase, and I don't even know if werewolves evolve or exist rather in Adrian, and
Oh,
that
they
would
do.
also be too
We
obvious.
fought some.
We fought some, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I
Werewolves
killed
exist.
I killed Karis.
Burkoff told to go kill some.
Yeah,
when
the
Karis died.
lycanthropes, when Vera accidentally hit an out one and
Oh,
eviscerated.
that was
Karis.
when you eviscerated Karis.
No,
Okay.
but the-
I remember the evisceration. I don't remember the werewolves because I think the evisceration kind of
Overshadowed.
Yeah, I barely remember that fight besides being like just completely terrified. Like my brain shut down back in the day during that fight because I was just like, Karis is dead. Like, what's
Oh, I
the
remember.
point?
You
Yeah.
Karis, you bastard.
Yeah, I think all of us got really quiet and just did the fight.
Yep.
it was a rough time.
But no,
It was a spooky fight.
before Naomi locked herself in the carriage or wagon, wasn't the previous night's moon phase was a waning gibbous, right?
Yeah,
that
right
which means it's
before?
getting closer to the new moon, not a full
Right.
moon.
So
is that right?
it's
Mhm.
it's almost the new moon right now.
Waxing
I don't
means getting bigger, waning means
Yep.
getting
I
smaller.
have no fucking clue.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's currently a waning crescent.
Okay, so it wasn't a full moon?
No.
No,
Well,
okay.
No, not even
It's-
close.
During new moons is when were lobsters transform.
Someone's been reading the wiki.
Wait, is she-
Wiki updates.
Oh my god, is she a
about whale
werewolf?
She's a square wolf, guys. Bringing it all back to the OG shit.
She can't use her hands because they're squares.
They're squares! And that's why they're bent at a 90-degree angle for cups. Square!
I'm
You did
beginning
it.
to suspect that you're all nerds.
lobsters.
What? No, that's what we did back in the vampire fight. We joked about there being square wolves that we had to fight.
Mhm.
Now I remember.
Very old
Nerds.
The
joke.
old joke.
The
old
squirrels.
I don't know if it's a
Skeleton werewolves,
nerd,
the
if it's our own
squirewolves.
lore.
Yeah. So, but yeah, what do you guys think's going on with Naomi? What's up with that?
Well, so it wouldn't be a werewolf if it's not full moon. Although I guess
Mhm.
there was werewolves without a full moon at the town too.
Yeah, but they were like cursed
Yeah.
because of the
Mhm.
symbols at the same
True.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe they were druids that were cursed, if I
Is-
remember
Yes.
correctly.
Yeah.
there
They were
something-
druids cursed by Glarv.
Is there a creature that's created by new moons?
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
Hags?
Bears.
Twilight fan?
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. Didn't want anyone's help that day. Was not feeling well. Locked in a wagon.
and has something going on with her hands that cannot be fixed.
She
by...
feels different than everyone
Aesthetic.
else.
No, it hasn't. She hasn't talked to Vera, so I haven't been able to like get any read like based on Vera looking at her.
I'm waiting for the conversation with Kurla and Vera to happen eventually.
The conversation she had with Levette was really interesting to me because just like I didn't really think that it was going to be that helpful, but then I was like, I guess I can see where I was like, oh no, that seems like it's kind of dangerous advice for other people. I was like, maybe not. I don't know what her situation is. Maybe leaving is good for her. I don't know what leaving means if she's in a caravan, but
burn everything down.
Wait, so what's the no? What was you saying? You're looking forward to?
Oh, because she had singularly sought out characters in our party, so I was wondering if she was going to go singularly to Kurla and Vera eventually.
No.
Just based on her rounds. I've been someone who sought her out since the first meeting because I decided to choose to talk to her first. The first evening that we really met her as players. So I've just kind of left her be since she was like, yo, not feeling great, GTFO. Bye.
And we are like a party of consummate outsiders, so if she speaks with, pardon me, with Betravian and with Levette, you would also assume that she would chat with Vera and with Caroline.
I honestly don't know about Vera. Because even half-elves, I imagine, aren't that uncommon in these parts.
Yeah, I think the half-orc might be more...
Yeah, the half-orc
unusual.
certainly is going to stand out more,
It's
if
also-
anything.
Right. It's also possible that Kurla and Vera are more intimidating.
You think?
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm not fucking
Yeah, exactly,
intimidating,
right?
you little
Are you
bastard.
Vera
Yeah.
intimidating? Are we talking about the same person?
Yeah. So maybe
The
yeah.
one with the plus 15 mask of intimidation?
And a fucking great big
So you mean,
scythe.
which by the way, with that mask, plus 25.
Jesus freezes.
Good God.
No, I don't see why she wouldn't want to.
Just be like Petravian.
Like literally, you see. Actually, I don't even fucking know that reference. I was gonna say, I put on the mask, and you see the fucking menacing text.
Oh yeah, fucking JoJo
Fucking
reference.
JoJo. Fucking JoJo reference.
I don't really know what's up with her. I don't even know if I have theories per se.
No,
Well,
I don't really.
Well, let's try to break it down. Obviously, she's looking for people who are kind of ostracized or
Right.
different.
So she's some kind of weirdo.
She wears a cloak to
Probably
cover her
cloak.
body.
Probably likes feet. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Kyle.
What's up?
So
She's got-
Hand
weird
bandages
hands.
could be a lot of things. Like she could literally just have broken hands for all we know.
yeah, I
But she
don't
does-
think
she does-
she's human.
She does wear a heavy, like I mentioned, she wears a cloak.
Yeah.
The cloak
Yeah.
covers her whole body, so you don't really know what she looks like.
I
I was
don't
like,
think
Nah.
should I tear
I don't
off her hood? Seems
I already
rude.
made that mistake, okay?
I mean, you could. Let's see
I-
if this one turns into a giant bee and goes on a rampage.
I
Yeah.
want that to happen again. I missed it the first time. I wasn't there for it. I want to see it in person.
Oh, it was terrible being me that day, though.
It was terrible being a lot
I
of
just need
people.
you
that
all to be
day.
normal for one night.
One night! That's all I ask is for you to not do anything!
I was,
And what do you do?
I was like,
It's
like-
loved it.
with all like the bandages, like, oh, she had leprosy. It's like, I don't think you get better after a new moon from leprosy.
Hmm.
I think it's still pretty hard during the day.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think she's human, but I don't... So, pretty much what's been helpful for me a lot of times is that I've noticed a lot of people see their own race when they talk to Riz a lot of times out of others. And I'm curious if she sees me as a human because we're in a caravan filled with humans, or if she sees me as someone of her race, because I just have a feeling that she's not human.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
maybe she's a changeling.
Definitely
be
a
a hell of a
lobster
thing.
person.
Paydor?
No, not alive yet.
I know, I know.
Theodore had to have a parent somewhere, though, right?
That's true.
Right?
Because we have the hint of it's something. It seems to be moon related. Oh,
Paydor's parent is blue.
Get the fuck out! Out of the stream now! Get out! Out of
I
this
gotta
shit.
I gotta make
Grounded.
some notes, everybody. Unrelated to what just happened.
Beardy! I won't call you daddy anymore if you do that.
Do hags have anything to do with new moons? I don't know.
I mean, they use a lot of strange like ritual magic, so I'm sure that moon phases are important to them for different reasons.
Cause like I said, I thought that it's a full moon, but even then, the fact that she wasn't literally like inside the car is like it's kind of pretty polite for a werewolf.
Yeah. I mean, now here's the other thing: is if you're born as a werewolf, if you're what's called like a true werewolf, then you don't go crazy when you turn. You're just in that body.
I'm so hairy. Har.
Yeah. So it's not impossible.
I don't think we have enough information yet to fully grasp what she may
Yeah.
be.
All
Just
you gotta do
I
is
mean,
kick the door in. And...
Jesus
Well,
Christ,
down.
no.
when she was feeling ill for a day, I was like, it could have nothing to do with being anything other. It's just because she's a young woman that she needs to take a day off. I was like, I don't think that would happen because that doesn't seem plot relevant, but it could be.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, humans do at least have that.
Maybe she's just ill
Elves
today.
don't. I don't know if half elves do.
Oh yeah? What are you thinking?
I don't know. Sorry, I just started thinking about periods.
Whoa, what an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Shit, I have to work out if half-orcs have them. Anyway.
Well, yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah!
We can talk about blood coming out of our crotches another day.
Yeah.
Every day, if we
I
can.
tell you what.
Woo!
So, I mean, it brings us towards the end of the list of topics, but also the end of the episode, because we have entered the Isthmus of... Isthmus.
Ithmith.
The Thesmus.
Merry Ithmith.
Mary Ithmith.
The
Merry Ithmith.
Golgoth, yeah. The Isthmus of Golgothia. And we see all these shed green Kadali skins up on...
Yellow.
Gold.
Yellow, I
Yellow.
beg your pardon. Yellow.
Not,
And I
not
had-
gold, not green.
Well,
Hearing
not
the
yeah,
description-
yeah.
I thought you meant that they had been skinned, like skinned alive,
No,
and
like
these
shed
effigies had been
Yeah.
left as like a warning, but okay.
No.
If-
So they'll, as they age, like basically a couple times a year, they'll just shed like large, like all of their scales will pop off and they'll grow new ones.
Yeah.
And they'll take those and they'll make stuff out of them because, I mean, they're going to use all the resources they have available to themselves, so they use it for art,
I
Or
figure it's
in this
similar
case,
to like harpies.
territory
and
markers.
Yeah.
So
Is it like paper thin, like snake mold?
yeah, kind of, yeah. I mean, it's
Okay.
not like you couldn't like make armor out of it. No.
Okay, okay.
It's
Couldn't
not
make a
like the
nice coat
actual
out of it or
hide.
anything?
What?
Couldn't make a nice coat out of it then.
No, it wouldn't be warm.
Also,
might be
would
able to
probably
use it for,
break
like,
pretty
color accents.
easily.
Yeah, it's pretty fragile.
Paper.
Yeah, when you're describing it and there's the large scales, I was thinking dragon too. I was like, "There's no yellow dragon." I was like, "Well, I guess yellow could just mean gold." I was like, "That would."
Well,
Make a
like I
lot of
said, I
sense,
was getting
though.
excited thinking maybe Beardy made a new chromatic dragon, and I was
It
like,
crossed
oh,
my mind as
Beardy
well.
Didn't.
Right?
Ooh.
Maybe he has
Acting
sulfur
like an
breath.
assassin after that.
Ugh.
Maybe.
So he just breathes farts.
oh,
Yeah,
no,
I was gonna say this entire swamp
just
is
hot
just
water,
his fart
like-
gas.
hot poison water is what he breathes. That has like sulfuric shit coming off of it.
I will say,
Yeah.
so obviously we can't breathe in there, but Vera could drink the water probably because she can't be hurt by poison. So that should be fine.
But
Do you-
why? Just to like show off? Hey, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
hey,
drink this
everybody, look
raw
at-
fucking sewage.
The
sludge.
person
You
who can
drink a
use the spell create water is
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say.
fuck it, I'm drinking out of this.
Why not?
Yeah, I just see Vera like takes her water skin, scoops some water to the side, takes a sip out of it. Someone's like, "At least you can drink that," and Vera's
It's
like, "Oh,
kinda
here," and just
spicy.
trades water for them.
It's a flex, you know. It's a druid flex.
Druids are weird.
Excuse me?
It's got more flavor this way.
It's more spicy.
Yes, I like the
Spicy
spicy water.
Spicy water.
I like the spiced meat. That was very nice. Well done with the
Yeah.
nat 20
Thank
on that
you.
cooking roll.
I hope it made sense for what I was intending for the flavors with that, with like taking spices and like actual tea leaves and marinating the meat with it.
You should have diced the meat though.
You should have. I suffered for that pun, but I had to.
Good.
I deserved it.
It wasn't part of my mental image of the situation, okay?
Okay, fine. Sorry that I
God.
affected your artistic flow.
No, we were playing mermaids.
I love you.
No, but I am excited for the combat that is to await us in this area.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I did intend on having some combat that session, but things went a little long, and maybe it'll just have to be next session.
Yeah.
We'll get to the
Which-
fireworks factory eventually.
Yeah, which will be on January 8th.
Jesus.
Jeez.
Yeah,
With a
I
Christmas
believe.
episode before that.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
kind of as an announcement of things that are going on, we are unable to play next weekend, so we're actually going to be airing Check Please episode 11 on that day. Normally I'd play it on a Wednesday when it's like a backlog episode, but I'm gonna play it over the weekend just so we have a regularly scheduled time. So, Check Please episode 11 is airing on the 18th. On the 24th, we are going to be airing last year's Christmas special. And that'll kind of play probably in the evenings for people. I'm not sure exactly what time, but we'll make announcements on our Twitter at least about like what time it is more coming up, because I don't want to mess up with people's church schedules, because I'm pretty sure people go to church on Christmas Eve if you're religious. You know, I don't fucking know. But it'll be on Friday, not on Saturday, because obviously Christmas Day will be for us to spend time with our families, so no checkpoints on either of these weeks. And then on the 1st, good old New Year's Day, we are going to be having our live Christmas show. I am DMing. It's gonna be so fun.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
really
nervous. I'm nervous. I hope you guys like it.
You did
So
great with
excited
the
for
last
this
two Halloween games, so I'm sure it'll be
Absolutely.
great.
It'll be my first Christmas show, so
Mm-hmm.
Your first Ithmis.
it's my first Ithmis show. So, come join us for that. Again, we'll always have little updates on our Twitter, and we hope to roll with you guys then. So, does anyone have any closing statements they want to have over the episode?
We covered everything.
I think we covered everything. Spread the word, though. If you're
Yeah.
enjoying listening to our adventures,
Yes,
do
please.
tell your friends and make sure that they tune in as well.
It's true.
Mhm.
So,
Check out the wiki.
yeah, definitely check out the wiki. Follow us on social media. Follow us on Twitch, because obviously we want to get out to more people. So, you know, here
We
and there,
stream
subscribe
on
on YouTube.
Saturdays and we upload on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well.
Yeah.
Anyways, we love you all very much. We'll roll with you again sometime. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.